Hello children. This week we're going to be looking at addition and subtraction. We're going to revisit it. It's something that you're really good at, so we're just going to practice this week. So let's make a start. Okay, so we're just going to start by practicing some simple column addition. You're going to need a pencil and some paper, and I'd like you to have a go at these. So you're going to pause the video, and once you have finished it, play the video again. Okay, so our first one, 4 and 5, 9, 3 and 6, 9, 6 and 5, 11, 3 and 5 is 8, and 1 more is 9. Same here, 7, 4, 8, 15. And the same here, a lot of carrying over here. So 15, 10 and 1 is 11, 10 and 1 is 11, 5 and 8 is 13, add 1 is 14, and so on. And then these, although they were written horizontally, I think the best way to have done these would have been to do them as a column addition. Okay, so it says here 5 children are playing a times table game, and here are their scores. Now just take your time to read those numbers very carefully. So Lottie is 41,035. Sam, Izzy, Abdul, and Fion. So there are 2 questions here. The first one says, which 2 children have a combined score of exactly 83,693? Now, there's no point just trying to guess and keep doing all the addition calculations. You've got to think about, if I was to round these, which 2 can I round that would give me nearly or just over 83,000, and then start to do your calculations as a check from there. So have a go at the first one, and then when you're ready, have a go at the second one. Okay. So Izzy is 42,600 and Lottie is 41,000. 41 and 42 makes 83, and I've got my 600 there. So it could have been that we would have estimated those first and then did an add to check. It says which 2 children have a combined score of 81,000. Well, there are some children here that you could cross off straight away because their numbers are probably too big. See if you can find the pair. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. Okay, so Sam has 39,000, Abdul has 41,000, but it's nearly 42,000. Look, it's nearly 42. 39 and 42 will give us our 81,000. Okay, there are some mistakes here. Andy's been practicing his column addition, but he's made some mistakes. For each calculation, can you work out where the mistakes are? Have a really close look at them. See if you can work out. The first one might only have 1 mistake, but the second one has definitely got 2 mistakes. Can you see them? Okay. Let's look at the first one. Yeah, when we added up here, 2 and 8 is 10 there. So there's a 10 there. So 30 add 10 is 40. We've only got a 3 in there. There should be a 4 in there. Now, before I click on the next icon, just look at this one. There's a problem with this number here. Have you worked out what the problem is? If this is the ones place, where should that 6 be? And that's one of his problems. He hasn't lined up his place value when he did his column addition. And also, when he added up the 8, so the 8,000 is in the wrong place now, because it says 80,000. It should say 8,000. And the 8 and the 7 don't make that 16 there. Okay. Now, Amara is playing a maths game. She scores 2,400 on the first round, 5,300 on the next round, and 10,600 on the final round. Would you use column addition to find her total score? We could use column addition, but I think Amara is thinking of something different. Column addition would not be the most efficient method. You always have to look at the numbers first to decide whether you can add them mentally. Now I can see a 600 and a 400, so I know that I should be able to add those mentally to get 1,000. Let's see what Amara says. A mental method with draftings, if needed, will be the most efficient. You could use your number bond knowledge to add 2,400 to 10,600, and that would give you a total of 13,000, and then you just needed to add on the 5,300. Now, I'm going to give you time to look at this very carefully. There are some missing digits here. Can you work out the missing digits? Remember that the two numbers added up together from the top number and the bottom number would only ever give you a maximum of 18, and that might give you a clue. Would only ever be carrying over 1 to the next place. Okay, if you've had a try, pause the video if you need a little bit longer. Here we go. 9 and 2 gives us 11. So that's 1 10 carried over here. 3 10s and 5 10s is 8 10s, and one more is 9 10s. So I don't need to add anything into my hundreds place. I've got 5,000 and 5,000, which gives me 10,000. 5 and 5, we have my 0 there. 50,000, add my 10,000 is 60,000. And the same for this one. Now, this is a real challenge for you. There's lots and lots of different answers for this, but it says each letter represents a number between 1 and 9. Can you work out what the letters represent to make the addition calculation correct? There's no regrouping. Okay, if you're not sure, I'll give you a clue. So E is worth 4. And here's your second hint. S is worth 7. So 4 and something makes 7. So that must be a 3 maybe. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to have our own little practice now. You'll need a pencil and some paper, and we're going to start off by simply doing some addition calculations. There are 2 to do here, so you can pause the video and try those 2, and then there's 1 more. So you have to pause the video for those 2, and here's the other one. Okay, let's see how we got on with our addition calculations. Here's our first one, and here's our second one. And finally, here's our last one. Now, when you do these calculations, you've got to think very carefully because you've got to line the digits up. So whenever I do a calculation like this, I'm going to find that because it's addition, it doesn't matter which order I do them in, I'm going to find the biggest number first. Obviously, it's different for other types of calculation, but for these, I'm always going to start with the biggest number first. I'm going to write that in. So that's a 4 there, 6, 2, 3, 5, and let's just check. It says 53,264, and that means that I can now write in my second number. And if you notice, I'm always starting in the ones place because that's going to help me to line those digits up properly. So when I try this one, I'm going to start with this big number first. I'm starting in the ones place. I'm going to read the number 32,653. I'm going to read the number 32,653, and that means I can now squeeze in my smaller number here. And then we can do the addition. Perhaps you'd like to have a go at that first. Okay, so 9, I'm hoping you got that. And I'm hoping you got that too. Okay, so here's your next one. Now, there are lots of errors on here. Can you spot the errors? So look at the first one. That's okay. That's okay. That's 11. Ah, we've got something missing here, haven't we? So there should be a carry figure there, which would make that then into, and that's the corrected one. Ah, no, what's gone wrong here? Yes, in the wrong place, isn't it? The 8 should be in that place there, and so on. Now, these are all lined up, so that's 6. Got 11. 7 and 2 is 10. I should have carried that over to there. 5 and 2 is 7. Up the 1 is 8. I hope you spotted those. Now, can we find the missing digits? Now, we're going to use your logic with this. What can I add to 2 to make 7? And that's a good starting point. What do I add to 8 to make 6? Well, it's going to be 16 there, hasn't it? That's going to be 16 there. So that must be an 8 in there. Okay, pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's see how you got on. We get that one? And this one. Now, for the rest of this morning's lesson, I want us to practice our number bonds. So I want you to go to, when you go to this Hit the Button website, I want you to go to the number bonds one. And I want us to look for addition number bonds. And let's do them within 10. So you've got to find the right total. So nothing add 10 is 10. Okay. Now, you might think, well, this is really easy, but you've got a timer and you've got a score. So your job is to go as fast as you can with no mistakes. So we start that one again. No mistakes. So your challenge is to go, and can you speed up and go faster and faster? See how many you can get done. Obviously, if you make a mistake, so you've got to go and try and get full marks as quickly as you can. When you've tried that, you can go, well, we're not staying within the tens. And now we really need to think carefully about our number bonds. And again, go as fast as you can with no mistakes. And that's the job for your rest of your maths lesson this morning, to go as fast as you can with no mistakes. If you make a mistake, it will spot on your score there. So what's the best score you can get in the time that's available? Okay, and that's your challenge. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.